kind of like a ridiculous headline of the week: chess banned in Afghanistan due to religious restrictions, which
yeah, I did see this.
Religion is such a cancer to freedom. You know what I'm saying? It's always like societies that have such a cultural influence day to day in something that is so controlling that you just like, that's where you get like the dumbest fucking headlines. You're just like, what is it?
Yeah.
It's like chess is banned. Like, why? It's so dumb.
Yeah. So I think, did you read? I think it's because they consider it.
Yes, intellectual, dude. It's
No, I don't think that's what it was.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead. That's what I
So
thought it was.
opposition to various forms of entertainment and sports.
Okay.
So not because it's intellectual, because it's entertainment. It's a distraction from
what, dude?
Islam or
It's just a reminder of
Allah or whatever it is.
It's just a reminder of the variety of cultures and societies you can still get, man, to where, like, what are people supposed to do? Like, sit on their knees and worship all day, and then, like,
That's
I've been deployed to this country myself.
Right.
So they get on their knees, worship all day, and then they go to their little potties that are in the ground, which are weird, but they are. That's it. That's all they do all day. Makes no sense. Kind of.
Yeah, it's well, I mean, let's be clear, right? Like Puritanism, exists in Judaism, it exists in Christianity. Like,
yeah, it's just all restricting freedom. Just all like the idea of restricting freedom.
It's interesting because it feels like, I don't know, like constantly in the States at least, there is a battle between like secularism and a secular state and like theocracy, but like that's a conversation where it feels like that conversation's kind of lost in many Middle Eastern countries, like between Islamism and like having a secular state. Like notoriously Turkey was officially a secular state, and then Erdogan, I don't even remember when he gained power, like 15 years ago, has slowly just eroded. And Turkey was kind of one of the secular states that was in the Middle East, and that's kind of like now being walked back. So, yeah, I don't know.
Because they can use it for their benefit to keep power. I haven't even looked into that, but I'm sure.
Well, sure.
That
I mean,
means.
it all comes down to
like
authoritarianism.
Right, but what do they crave? What do authoritarians crave? They crave the idea that, like, you can tell people this is how it is and how you should be without having to give them proof at all.
Yes.
And they just kind of
control the social order.
Blindly follow. Right. This is why any sort of ideology or society that follows evidence and proof is going to have a heavier burden. Just always. Because you have to actually have that evidence and proof. As opposed to just, hey, you guys, this is right, this is wrong, and everyone's like, oh, and the seals clap. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to, right.
Yeah,
things
absolutely
that take effort and time, and sucks.
And research and figuring out, and
sucks, but it is what it is. And I think we talk 100 million times about what the future looks like between us on this garbage ass thing and other things that we've done, and unless you can grapple with somehow getting people to respect other people's freedoms, and selling that and keeping that sold, I just don't know how. Let's get dark. You ready to get dark? I don't know how humanity doesn't devolve into destroying itself.
Hey, listen, that's always been a possibility.
But I've procreated. Don't blame me. Sorry, go ahead.
Hey, way to contribute.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Another soldier for the trenches in the climate wars. We appreciate your sacrifice.
And listen, he looks to be pretty athletic, so you're welcome, trenches. You're welcome.
There we go. He's going to be a sergeant, at least, for sure. He's going to do great.
Well,
storming the beaches of Ontario.
Just not sure how smart he'll be, but he'll contribute. Maybe as a blood donor sac. Oh, that's terrible. Go ahead.
Jesus. I think with any
loves you.
luck, none of your genes will have passed on, and just your partner. So he might be smart. He may yet be an intelligent person.
Yeah, it's not looking good for me as far as trying to be smart with the people around me day in and day out. That's true. That's true.
Yeah. I mean, I can't help but sympathize with everything you're saying here. I mean, to me, it's regardless of what the source is. I don't care what it is. Any theocracy is and ought to be frowned upon, because we know that that's not how an ideal world works. Because everybody wants to be in a theocracy until the theocracy you live under is not the religion that you're part of.
But why do you know that? It's
That's a
because
fucking
you
disaster.
appreciate the idea that people can have a variety of beliefs, and you respect that as long as it's not bothersome. But that's not a thing across, right?
But you can be a minority anywhere.
I do.
That can always happen.
Don't even get me started, bro.
I know.
It is the bane of my existence, and probably every human being's existence, to think that, like, the way that I think, it's so simple, and everyone else must think that way. How could they not? But they just don't, man.
Right.
They just don't.
But if I were to grab that theocratic supporting Christian, God bless America man from Kentucky, and I were to throw him into Iraq and tell him, do you now advocate for a theocratic system? I know what his answer is, and that's what frustrates me.
Yes. Well, and what that speaks to is a lack of perspective. I think a lot of people end up where they end up, not because they're bad people, but because they literally lack the idea that other perspectives can be a part of their decision making, and they only consider not necessarily only theirs, but only their idea of a perspective.
My ideas are the correct ones, so why wouldn't I want everybody to be part of that?
Well, I mean, I still feel like people like me and you feel that to a certain extent, too.
So they're wrong.
Well, hang on. I still feel like me and you feel like that to a certain extent, too, where our ideas are the right ones. It's more that, like, they don't even entertain the idea that people can have other ones, where I always do. I'm always thinking of, like...
Sure, but I also don't want to live in a society where my idea is implemented, not selected. You know what I mean? I feel like that's also the key.
No, that goes along. Yes, of course.
In a society where a gun is held to your head because Chad thinks such and such about the world.
Right.
That is not the world I want to live in.
No, right.
So we all know what that leads to.
I have to tape that to mind to edit out the fact that you just said honestly, it's a really ugly name, but you said it. And hey, we hope.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
We hope.
My bad.
We hope people in Afghanistan can play chess again soon. Because
we sure do. We hope with the advent of modern technology, they can play chess nonetheless without any bother.
That's true, dude. Someday you do have to. You'd have to think to yourself, like, and look, is it a mark of privilege to be able to do that? Sure, it still is, no matter what country or society you're talking about. But still, you do have to think that there's some people that get around this in some way, because the internet's a thing, and like. In the same breath that the internet is frustrating and might be the downfall of society, it's liberating to a lot of society too. Like, two things can always be true because there's so many different things you're considering and you're talking about in societies and cultures. Yeah.
I do want you to imagine for a moment, though. You know, considering
J.D.
what we
Vance bans porn. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. Considering like the access of chess electronically. In the opposite of that, imagine like driving home late one night coming from a friend's house, and you get pulled over by a cop, and you're very nervous. Mm-hmm. Not because you're drunk or you're high or you're or whatever, but because there's a chess set in your backseat. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a world I want to live in.
No, it doesn't quite translate to Afghanistan, that people are just driving in cars and would get pulled over. But your point stands where it's like, your point stands where it's like, imagine living in a society where like you love chess, but you have to like act like you're a criminal because of chess. That's so stupid.
Like, I feel like if anywhere in this country you were to tell someone you love chess, at the least they're gonna respect you for like being intelligent but at the most they're just gonna be like, oh, you're kind of a geek,
right?
You know what I mean? Like you're kind of a nerd.
And I think me and you also have always been libertarians in the sense that like if you're trying to ban things that objectively just like don't harm anyone, you always have an agenda.
I'm grinding my teeth.
You're all, of course, dude. You always have an agenda. Like it's just so stupid. It doesn't actually accomplish what you're trying to accomplish, like at all. It's just so dumb, man.
Banning any of the non-violent offenses. Curious. For sure.
Makes no sense.
Is that what the term is? You know what I mean? Where the only person you're affecting is either yourself or consensual people. What are we upset about here?
Yeah.
What are we upset about?
And we could have a long discussion about like what meets that criteria. It's comical that chess would be banned, and somehow
chess
you
is
have to, like,
so far from that
about,
conversation.
Yeah.
You're right.
Like, you guys can't play checkers anymore. It's like, what? We can't play checkers? Why? Because red and black represents hell, and you guys are gonna go to hell. It's just like, what?
Hey man, Google about the Puritans that came to the U.S. as early settlers. You'll learn a lot. You'll learn a lot.
I would learn a lot, and I want to advocate for a lifestyle that, and this is controversial, only exists with evidence and proof, and only exists in reality. No other ways of existing are allowed. I want to be an advocate for that.
There we go. God
I want
bless.
people to think about that. I want people to think about how red and black.
Oh wait,
checkers players don't represent hell. You know.
Did we want to do the Trump's Truth Social thing? Oh, his very first one
Give me one and we'll wrap up.
Well, it's talking about the 747, so let's not watch that.
I don't want to watch another video. He reposts too much stuff. Give me an actual.
It's crazy how much.
At Rio.
Oh, here we go. Are we about to give credit to Donald Trump on this podcast? Here we go. You ready? It's a long one.
Oh, the prescription drugs one? Again.
Yeah.
This goes back to me saying, do you actually trust him when he says stuff like this?
Spoilers, dude. I haven't read it yet. But you're not wrong for asking that question.
Go ahead and read it.
Let's just say he's going to reduce prescription drugs in this price by ordering U.S. pharmaceutical companies to charge prices in the U.S. that are the cheapest as far as prices they charge.
So when price controls happen barely in a mild way, when Democrats do it, we lose our minds. But when Trump does it, it's fine.
Pretty crazy. That's actually very.
Is that what I'm saying?
That's very intrusive on the free market model. So that's interesting.
So now we like government. We like government setting prices. Is that what we're saying? Because I want the government to set the food price then. Because I am a communist. All right. So do the thing. Do the fucking thing. Central planning.
That is central planning.
Central planning.
It's a little bit central planning. That's interesting.
Anyways, yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, we can leave it at that. God bless.
Because sometimes
Donald Trump is a communist confirmed.
Yeah.
Sure.